Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up everything you need to set up on Linux, well, specifically Ubuntu. But this should work for every operating system that's basically like Ubuntu, so Ubuntu, Linux Mint, that kind of thing. If you're using something really obscure, then I'm hoping you'll just be able to figure this out because you're using some obscure Linux system, but I'm going to try and make it as general as possible so that if you're using something like Ubuntu, you should be fine. I'm using Ubuntu 18.0.4, which is, I think, the latest version, so if you're using something like that, or 16, you should be fine if you just follow these instructions. I'm running mine in a virtual machine, not on an actual computer, for various reasons, so it might seem a little slower than an actual computer, but that's nothing really to worry about. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to download Python 3. We're going to get an editor for Python so we can write and run a code called idle. We're going to get something called pip, which allows us to install, basically install libraries for Python. We're going to use pip to get krpc, which is the krpc Python module that allows us to write krpc code. And we're going to get the mod krpc of a Kerbal space program. I'll show you how to do that as well. So the first thing we're going to want to do is install all the Python stuff. And we're going to do that by opening up a terminal. I'm just hitting Ctrl-Alt-T. That's the default open terminal. And yeah, I'm going to maximize this. And so we're going to want Python 3 first. Now, basically all of the fairly recent Ubuntu versions just come with Python 3 installed. So if you type in Python 3 -- version, you're going to get, I've spelt something wrong, I've missed a dash, it has to be -- version, and you can see I've got Python 3.6.6, which is the most up-to-date version of Python that is, I don't know, configured for Ubuntu to just download in terminal. So if you've got something like that, that's fine. If it's lower or higher, that's probably also fine, but you might want to upgrade it, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you don't get that, if it says something like, let's say we typed in the wrong thing. Well, if it gives you a message something like this, but obviously for Python 3, then you don't have Python and Python 3. And the simple way to install that is just to type sudo apt-get install Python 3. That is not how you spell Python. Sudo apt-get install Python 3. What that's going to do is download Python 3. It'll ask you for your password. You can type that in, and then it'll do all of this. Now, I already have it, so it's not going to install it, but it's just going to give you a bunch of things. It's probably going to ask you, do you want to install this? You just type Y, hit enter, and it'll install. Y is in the characters and yes. It's all fairly self-explanatory, and once you've got that, you can check if you have Python 3 installed correctly by doing this again. Python 3.66. But maybe you have Python 3, but it's like an older version, it's 3.5 or whatever, and you just want to be up to date as possible. Well, you can do that by you can upgrade it by typing sudo apt-get upgrade Python 3. Mine's already as up to date as it's going to be, so it's not going to do anything, but again, yours will just have more text if you are actually upgrading it. Anyway, the next thing we're going to want is pip, and, pip 3, which will allow us to install krpc into Python. You can check again if you have that by doing pip 3 version. And apparently I don't have it, but I can install it by running this command. Sudo apt install Python 3 pip. And that's going to get you pip, which is super useful. When you get something like this, just type Y, and it'll install. And yeah, you'll just get lots of this text and various things, and once it's finished, you're all good. Alright, so once that's done, it should be installed. Again, we can check by typing in pip 3 version. Ooh. And do we have it? Yay, pip 9.01. That's actually kind of out of date, but it is for Python 3.6, so that's fine. And then we're going to want to use pip 3 to install krpc, and that's as easy as typing pip 3 install krpc. Now, I know if you haven't used terminal too much, it can be kind of intimidating, but it's something you definitely want to get used to, especially if you are a Linux user, because that's kind of how you do all the things. Well, how you can do all of the things. Anyway, if that installs successfully, it'll say successfully installed krpc. And there we go. That's all of that installed. Now we just need to get ourselves our Python editor called idle. Now, idle is just a fairly simple, basically like a text editor, and that allows you to write Python and run it fairly easily in a Python shell. If you've written a bit of Python before and already have like a favorite editor like PyCharm or something, feel free to use that, but in this tutorial, I'm just going to use idle for simplicity. So the way we install idle is just by typing in sudo apt-get install idle Python. I'm going to say Python 3.6 because that's my version of Python, but you're going to want to type whatever version of Python you have. If it's 3.5, 3.5, it's 3.7, 3.7. But I'm just doing sudo apt-get install idle Python 3.6. And hopefully that'll work. I already have it, so it's not going to, again, I already have a lot of these things, so your text is going to be kind of different. But then you can check that by, I guess, just seeing if it's installed. Hit like the start button or whatever and type in idle. And you'll get idle using Python, mine says Python 3.6, and that's all good. We can check that it does actually work just by opening this and doing a little hello world program. Now for the actual coding part, you're going to want to go back to the main video, but this could just be a good check. You'll be doing this anyway in the main video, but this just ensures everything's installed correctly. So if I run that, hello world, yeah, that works. Okay, so everything's installed properly, and yeah, so that's everything you need to do for the Python stuff. You now have Python 3, you now have pip for installing Python programs, you now have a KRPC, and the idle editor. Now you're just going to want to install the mod for Kerbal Space Program. I assume most people have probably done this before, but if you haven't, just open up your web browser, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to open up our web browser and just type in KRPC like that. One of the things that comes up will be the forum. I think it's here. I'll link this in the description, by the way, but pretty much everything I use is gonna... every like web page I use, or just useful things, will be linked in the description, so just always check the description. There may be interesting things, or just all the links I've used today, which is only one for the... for you Ubuntu people, because we can just do it all in terminal, which is so much nicer than going to the annoying web pages and downloading packages like you have to do on Windows. Anyway, yeah, so once you get to the space dock or wherever you want to download it from, you're just going to want to save the file, don't register or whatever. Yeah, and that can be found here. You can get it from GitHub space dock curse, or if you use ccan, you can do that too. And that's downloaded? Yes, okay, so once that's downloaded, we can close this, and then, close tabs, there we go. And then we can just go into our little file explorer right here, go to downloads, and we have our mod right here. We can extract that. That's actually just, extract it, double click on it, hit extract. I guess just extract. Shit. Okay. I mean, damn. I didn't expect it to do that, but I thought it would go into a folder called KRPC. Actually, let's just move it into a folder called KRPC. Clearly, I don't use non-terminal stuff in Ubuntu enough. Anyway, let's just throw all of this in there. It looks like a lot of stuff, but it's not that important. Anyway, so we've got the mod here now. Now you're just going to want to open up Steam, and you're going to want to do two things, actually, because KRPC isn't currently known to work for the latest version of Kerbal Space Program, which is KSP 1.4.5. It only works for KSP 1.4.4, so what you're going to want to do is right-click on Kerbal Space Program in your Steam library, hit Properties, go to Betas, and where it says non-opt-out of all beta programs, click on that, and click 1.4.4, and that will download basically like an update that downgrades your game to the previous version, which will allow KRPC to run. So we're just going to wait for that to download, and then we're going to go and install the mod. Anyway, so once that's downloaded, you can go back to your library. You're now in the right version of KSP. It'll say next to it right here, KSP 1.4. something. And then we want to go into our game data, into our game folder. So we're going to hit Properties again. Go to Local Files, Browse Local Files, and that should open up this folder. We can close all of this now. So this folder contains basically all of the game files. So we can open up game data, and this is in here we have squad and squad expansion. If you have the expansion, you might just have the squad folder if you didn't get the expansion. And what we're going to want to do is go back to our KRPC mod folder here, go into game data, and just drag this into our game data folder in Kerbal Space Program. And that's that. Now KRPC is installed in Kerbal Space Program, and you have everything you need. So now you're going to want to go back to the main video, open up idle, like this, and then just follow on the instructions in there. We're going to do a hello world program, and then we're going to do a hello space program, and obviously you're going to want to launch KSP as well, so you can write code and then run it in KSP. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I thought I should probably just make it as easy as possible for everyone. I mean, obviously, if you're using some weird Linux thing, I'm just not going to make a tutorial for that, because you could go on forever down all of the Linux things, but I doubt Kerbal Space Program even runs on things that aren't like Ubuntu. So yeah, but anyway, I know it, I mean, it's so wildly different doing all of this in Ubuntu than it is in Windows that I thought it would be easier to just do a tutorial for each. Anyway, yeah, but like I said, go back to the main video. The time code will be on screen now or something, so if you go to that time code, that's when the actual tutorial part begins. And yeah, I will see you next time.